everyone. Thank you, first of all, for the organization of this conference. It's the first time for me. We'll open and close the session with immerge boundary method with CutFem at the beginning. And this is work in collaboration with Raphaël Bull, Vanessa Lieras, Alexei Lozinski, and Kylian Villemot. I come from Strasbourg, so I'm happy to eat some choucroute tomorrow. And so I will present immerge boundary method called phi-fem. Okay, I will recall when we can use this kind of scheme. For example, when the geometry is complex, as presented by Susan, for instance, when the geometry is changing during optimization process, or when the domain is changing in time during the simulation. Okay, it's a very old method. At the beginning, it was the boundary condition was imposed by penalization or Lagrange multiplier, and after that comes the XFEM strategy by an enrichment of the shape function, and after CutFEM, where the idea is to integrate on the real domain, and you have a partial integration of the cut cells. And as presented this morning by Jürgen, the shifted boundary method, and the idea is to have a Taylor expansion of the boundary condition from the real boundary to the discrete one. And I will present now phi-fem, where we use a description of the domain with a level set function. Okay, so first recall what's the level set function. It's a function which is equal to 0 on the real domain, negative inside, and positive outside. And the idea of phi-fem is to include this function, this level set function, in the variational formulation to impose the boundary condition. And how to do that? I will present it in very simple case, the Poisson equation with the Dirichlet boundary condition. We'll search a solution U written as a product of phi, the level set function, times a new unknown V. And if we include this solution in the strong formulation, we obtain minus Laplacian of 5 times V equal to F, without boundary condition, because it is already included in the equation. And to have a weak formulation, we take a test function 5W with the same form, and we integrate by part. When we integrate by part, the boundary term is not equal to 0, contrary to the standard case, because the solution is not equal to 0 on the discrete boundary. So it remains this boundary term even if it is small. This formulation is not well posed because, as a way to see that is, inside we have a boundary condition here, but in this band we have a boundary condition here, but not here. So this part can be as not well posed formally. Okay. So we need to stabilize this formulation, for instance, with some term like the Gauss penalty, presented by Susan before. It is a penalization of the jump of the gradient on the facet near the boundary, this one, the facet of the blue cell. And we add the second term here, which is also constant with the continuous equation, because we recover the strong formulation here. But is also small, because we have h square at the beginning. Okay, and we can implement it, for instance, in Phoenix. Here we recover the level set function, and we need to measure with a tag of the cell near the boundary and the facet of the cells near the boundary. Here we have the formulation that I presented before and the stabilization term with the Gauss penalty and the second term, and we solve with the classical solver. And this formulation is available for every Lagrange shape function of every degree of approximation. Okay, so some math. So for instance, for this problem, we have proved that we have optimal conversion for the H1 norm and quasi-optimal for the L2 norm, even if numerically we have the optimal one. It comes from the Obernitzsch strategy, which is available only for a symmetric form. I have presented here the homogeneous case, but if we have non-homogeneous Dirichlet condition, we can replace U by 5 times V plus the boundary condition. And in the proof to the convergence, the K-tool is this kind of inequality, the hard inequality, which estimates U over phi by the norm on U. And a simulation in a very simple case on a disk, okay, with manufactured solution, and as we can see here, if we compare with a standard finite element method, the error is smaller for the H1 and L2 norm, and also the competition time, with respect with the L2 error, is smaller in this case. And why? It is because for the standard finite element method, we have a geometrical error when the discrete boundary don't fit the real boundary. But in the 5M paradigm, we can take the level set function phi, which describes the boundary, the boundary of every degree of approximation what we want, and the size of the matrix is don't increase; it's the same size. Okay, it's very easy to implement it in Phoenix in every degree of approximation. And we have no quadrature to do. All the codes are available on our repository on GitHub and using the classical package. And we have a 5M package which can be installed with PaxSci, Conda, or PIP. And the most difficult part is to tag the cell. We need to find the cells that we have on the boundary, and we do that in parallel. And I have presented the Poisson-Dirichlet problem, but it works also for Stokes, heat equation. We have a residual error estimator. We combine it with a multi-grid strategy, and we are studying now shape optimization problem. And in this package, you need only to consider the level sect function, and it will build the tag used in the resolution. Okay, so as a conclusion, for the math, we have put the optimal conversion is the different problem that we have considered. It's a formulation which works for every degree of a polynomial approximation. I don't speak about that, but the matrix of the formulation are well conditioned, 1 over h square. And we have adapted our paradigm to finite difference schemes. And the goal of 5M was to have something very simple to implement. It was implemented in FreeFM, Phoenix, for the moment. And an advantage is that in some case, we have a good ratio of between speed and error. So some reference. Thank you for your attention.
Thanks, Michel. Any questions for Michel? Yes?
Yeah, maybe a comment. I just talked to Dokken, and the elements, they can have curved edges.
Yes.
In Phoenix, apparently. And that would mitigate a lot of your error if you use...
Yes, we need to compare it. If perhaps we have no gain with curve element, it's possible. We have gain only when... yeah, exactly.
Jürgen?
Thank you for a very nice talk. So this is the third talk today about how to avoid meshing your geometry. We've seen at least 3 different approaches on how to tag cells. I find it very complicated, and at least it seems like the tagging bit that is in 5M could be used also in the shifted boundary method, right? If I want to use a level set in the shifted method, because that doesn't need an explicit grid. And I could use that to tag my cells, and then I just need to figure out the distance computation.
Don't understand. You ask it.
You presented a way now of using 5M to tag cells based on a level set. That could probably also be used as a shifted FEM. Because you just need to know which cells are on the inside or outside. So
yes,
I
it's a
think
difficulty.
it's rather general purpose, some of the things you've done, so very nice.
But I think we can use what you have presented this morning. It can be very useful.
Once you have the level set, then it's easy. It's easier
yeah.
to detect the good cells.
Yeah.
Like what we did, where you really need to compute the distance.
And maybe one could implement the shifted method inside 5M, or because I don't want to make my own level sets. Yeah. No, that's fine. Thank you.
And there was another question in the back, yeah.
What's the status of like the theory in practice in 3D?
Oh, it's working in 3D. Okay. So no problem.
Any other questions? If not, we can thank Michel again.